This is the Furious EMX Ultimate E-Bike. It's from a company based up in Canada, and I bought this for my wife last Christmas, and we're finally getting into springtime, so she's had a couple chances to ride it, and it's really pretty incredible. I'm not exactly a svelte person myself. I'm just under 6 foot, 5'11", whatever, 6 foot, and about 275 pounds. And I can get on this thing, and it's snappy, it's fast. It surprised the hell out of me. Anyway, I'm having an issue with the rear brake here. That's what this video is going to be about, but I just wanted to go over the bike real quick. This thing is just packed with features. It's dual motors. It's got dual 750 watt hub motors, and you can, through the controls, you can select, using any combination of the motors that you want at basically any power setting. And it's got, either pure throttle or pedal assist. And I've personally had this thing, it was over 35 miles an hour with my fat butt on it. My wife has had it, I think she told me, at 38 miles an hour, which on a bike, that's pretty doggone fast. Anyway, it's got 4-piston hydraulic brakes. The battery capacity on it is just crazy. It's got like a 20 amp hour front main battery on it. And it's got a, what is it? I think it's a 15 amp hour. This back battery just slides right out real easy if you don't even need to use it for short rides. That thing is heavy. It's a really dense packed massive weight. But anyway, that's a 15 amp hour secondary battery and a 20 amp hour main battery. My wife went out, I went on the scooter. My wife was on her bike. We went out for about 4 hours, and I mean, it hardly moved. It was still showing like 89% battery on the monitor there. Anyway, it's got air suspension. You can adjust it through air pressure. For the rear air suspension, it's got guide front suspension, which is adjustable. As I said, it's got the 4-piston Tektro hydraulic brakes. It's got a brake light and turn signals on it. Let's see. Oh, it's got headlight. Actually, the headlight actually works pretty darn good. Surprised. So headlight, turn signals, horn. Oops. Shimano shifter. Like I told you, it's got the throttle here. And the seat is, this is one of the main reasons I got this, not only the performance aspect, but my wife is 5'4", 5'5", fairly short legs, and she's easily intimidated by something like this. So the fact that we were able to lower the seat to start her out on this and remove that back battery to take a lot of the weight off, it really changed this into a less intimidating form factor for her to start out riding on. And then, you know, as she progressed, we're able to add the battery back in and bring the seat up, you know, as she gained confidence with it. But what's happening here is the back caliper, and I'll get in and show you some close views here. But the back caliper is not getting a full bite on the disc. It's like it's not down on the disc far enough. It's only making contact with about 2/3 of the brake pads. And there's a spacer block on there that I believe is made out of aluminum. And I'm gonna try removing some material so that I can bring that whole caliper assembly down, further down onto the brake rotor, so it's getting a full bite on the rotor. Like I said, I'll when I get into it here, we'll show you a little closer what's going on. But from what I've seen, this is a common problem. And I mean, as small as these brakes are, I would think that you want to get every bit of surface area, you know, in contact with those brake pads, so that you get the most braking. Because this, I'm telling you, you get moving 35 miles an hour on this thing, and you want to be able to stop. Anyway, we'll get into this a little more here. I'll get some better light on the subject, get to taking it apart, showing you what's going on here, and I'll give you a little closer look at some of the features on this bike. As I said, we're very pleased with the bike. There has been a couple of quality issues that were taken care of. It was a little bit of a hassle dealing with the owner of the company, but eventually we got things worked out. Here's the rear brake caliper that I'm going to be removing. This front bolt, you can't really get to. The other thing too, you know, if I remove too much material, I can always come back and put shims in underneath if I need to space it back up. So I'm really not concerned about taking off too much material on that spacer block. And when I get it disconnected, I'll give you some close-up shots of what's going on here. But yeah, it's a lot easier to work with if you remove that back battery. Okay, the bolts holding the caliper on are 5mm Allen. See how it sits on there. Now, here's the block. Here's the spacer block sitting underneath. You can see it's bolted to the frame, and then the caliper here is bolted to the spacer block here and here. And you can't quite tell now, but you see how high this is sitting on here. And yes, I've double checked. This is the correct block, and it's oriented correctly. So it's installed correctly. It's just, in my opinion, that spacer block underneath here needs to be shaved down a little bit. So that's what we're going to try to accomplish here, to try to lower the caliper in relationship to the disc, just probably about 3 or 4 millimeters. that one. And then this one back here. So those are the two to get the caliper off. Just wanted to come back and show you that. Here's the Allen head that holds the caliper onto the block. And you can see it's got the thread lock on there. See, I've got that free now. And then you've got this little bolt here that goes through, and it's got a little snap ring on the back side here you want to remove and make sure you put it in the safe place. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, there's a little snap ring back there. That's like your last line of defense. This is threaded. So that hex is threaded through the two brake shoes, the two pucks, and the spring, the retractor spring. And then it's got a little keeper. Hopefully that's just some residue. Hopefully that's not leaking. It looks like some mineral oil there. Gonna have to check that out. Not good. There's the little keeper that you've got to be, a little snap ring that you've got to be watching for, that's on the back side of the brake, the pad retaining bolt, on the back of that pad retaining bolt there. Here, let's get this situated here. Back this guy out. I didn't know. I'll have to check it in editing. I tried to turn the phone over, and I think the screen aspect is locked once I start recording. Anyway, that's the little retainer bolt there that holds the pads in place. The pads just drop down out of the caliper. I'm gonna have to put the phone down in order to pull them out, and then I'll show you. It'll be evident what I'm talking about. Okay, here's the two pads, pucks, whatever you want to call them, and the retractor spring. And you can see the wear mark there. You can see that pad, both pads, are only getting about 2/3 purchase onto the rotor. In other words, that guy is only sitting like that, right there. And I want it like that, to where it's getting a full bite. Because you can see it's exactly the right size to get a full bite on that disc. I mean, we've got so little brake area to work with here, to not be utilizing every bit of it. That just doesn't seem right. That should be utilizing every bit of the brake. So that's the idea. I'm gonna remove this spacer block, this spacer block here, and I'm going to take these down so that this whole thing is sitting down further. Now you see the issue. Here's those bolts that are holding that block on. There we go. Finally. Damn. Good deal. Those holes go all the way through. And as you can see, this is indexed. Front. So it's this area here. I've got to remove the material. And then these are 203. I did double check on that. These are 203 millimeter. So that's, you know, these spacers are designed for 203 millimeter. Anyway, I'm gonna take a measurement on these and then take a look at the best way to remove the material. And this is aluminum. It's either aluminum or magnesium, but I'm guessing it's aluminum because it's very light. Look at the mounting points. Okay, we're starting out here at 18 millimeters. Both of them are the same, so 18 millimeter starting point. So I think I'm gonna try taking it down to 16. I think I'll try taking it down to 16 millimeters, maybe 15 millimeters, and then see where that makes it sit. Oh, and the fact that this is just aluminum, I'm just going to go ahead and put this in my vise and use a hand file and file it down by hand. Should go pretty quick. Okay, there we are. I've got them both down to about 15.5 millimeters from just over 18. Might have to flatten that one out a little bit. Might take a piece of sandpaper, lay on the steel here, just rub it to make sure that these are both aligned nice and flat. Anyway, I think that should be plenty of material taken off. So I'm going to go ahead and surface this with a piece of sandpaper, and then we'll see what we got. We'll go try putting it on and see what happens. Here's the pin that I took out, the threaded pin, and then the little clip keeper on the back side there. You just make a sandwich out of the pads with the spring. Just make a little sandwich out of it, push it together, and it comes up from the bottom. It's real easy, but you need two hands to do it, so Sorry I couldn't show you that, but I needed both hands to do it. Here's the spacer block reinstalled with 4¼ millimeters of material removed. And here you can see the finished product. The top of the rotor is protruding up just a little bit more than the pads. So the pads are making 100% contact now. And I'll tell you, after testing, it is night and day difference. The braking now is as it should be on the back of the bike. It is an incredible difference. So I am very pleased with the results. So, and I also tightened down the compression fitting here. That wasn't as tight as it should have been, and I think that it might have been seeping just a little bit. Hey, here's a close-up of the front caliper, and you can clearly see that rotor is supposed to be sticking up above the pads. That pad is in fact supposed to be getting 100% contact with the rotor. So there you go. Well, that's it for this video. Hopefully this is going to help somebody out. Hey, if you're having brake problems, if they're not working the way you think they should be, take a look and make sure this isn't happening to you. I'm telling you, it made a massive difference. It's like night and day getting this rectified. So, hey, thanks for watching. Hope this helped you.